The showdowns between President Trump, Congress, and the courts. The president took off on his opponents at a rally in Pennsylvania last night after he ordered his former White House counsel not to testify before the House Judiciary Committee and responded to a court ruling that Congress can see his financial records. Our senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce on Capitol Hill with the story. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, we are seeing a real escalation here in the fight between the president and congressional Democrats. The president's strategy to resist all of their requests lost an early test in the courts yesterday, but Trump also infuriated Democrats here when he instructed his former counsel not to show up. Now, instead of being able to question Don McGahn, Democrats here this morning will face off with an empty chair. Overnight on the campaign trail in Pennsylvania, President Trump is promising to fight congressional Democrats at every turn.
Angry Democrats all after us with all of it, and they still have it's like little embers that are burning.
And this morning on Capitol Hill, the president is blocking his former top attorney, Don McGahn, from testifying, instructing him to defy a subpoena, citing constitutional precedent. McGahn was interviewed by the special counsel for more than 30 hours. Democrats say he's a key witness to the president's obstruction and are accusing the White House of stonewalling.
So you're dealing with a lawless president who is willing to go to any lengths to prevent testimony that might implicate him, that does implicate him.
And they're promising to fight back.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to hold McGahn in contempt.
As the standoff escalates, Democrats Monday scored their first victory in court. A federal judge ordering Trump's accountants to hand over 8 years of the president's financial records. The president is vowing to appeal.
We won round one today.
But Democrats are now clashing over what comes next. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi facing growing calls to initiate impeachment proceedings.
This is not just about this president. This is about upholding the rule of law, and future presidents will be guided by what we do in this moment.
But George, Democratic leaders are pushing back against these calls, especially with 2020 right around the corner. Top Democrats are concerned that any impeachment proceedings might overshadow their agenda. And George, they point that this court victory yesterday, they say, shows that they are on the right path here.
And meantime, Mary, the House Intelligence Committee yesterday released documents detailing Michael Cohen's claims against the president's current lawyers.
Yeah, George, we're getting a new look at these transcripts, and they show that Cohen told investigators that Trump's lawyer, Jay Sekulow, encouraged Cohen to lie to Congress about negotiations over a Trump Tower deal in Moscow, negotiations that we now know stretched well into the campaign. And Cohen also told investigators that he had multiple conversations with Sekulow about receiving a potential pardon. George, Sekulow's team is disputing Cohen's account.
Multiple legal issues all coming together. Thank you, Mary. So let's talk about it with our chief legal analyst, Dan Ames, for more on this. Let's first go to that judge's ruling yesterday. The president's accounting firm has to turn over the records. Quick decision by the judge, clear decision by the judge, basically saying it's not a close call.
Right. And in any other world, this would be a huge decision, right? The idea that the president of the United States has just lost a major court ruling. And yet, for now, it's going to sort of fall, and people are going to wait for the next level in this, and that's going to be the appellate court. No question, this is a big loss for the president. It was a clear loss, and the judge in his ruling actually referred to the possibility of impeachment proceedings, basically saying, look, Congress has the oversight power, including for impeachment proceedings, and as a result, the Congress has got to be able to investigate potential criminal wrongdoing.
The president also defined congressional power by saying that his former counsel, Don McGahn, should not testify today.
Right. And this is a tougher call. There are these two doctrines. One we've talked about a lot, which is this idea of executive privilege, confidential conversations between the president and his inner circle. That's not what they're focusing on now. Now they're actually taking a broader view, which is they're saying it's presidential immunity, meaning Don McGahn shouldn't even show up to answer any questions, because there is this broad theory that he's effectively an arm of the president, and that this would be like calling in the president to testify. This one's a closer call, both on the issue of executive privilege and on the issue of presidential immunity.
Call, but in all these cases, it appears that Congress goes into these fights with a stronger legal hand in the courts, which has led a lot of people to say what's really going on here is the president is trying to run out the clock.
Well, yeah, because every time there's a district court ruling, they're still going to wait for an appeal before they implement that, right? So you get a district court ruling and people say, aha, so they're going to turn over the documents. No. You're going to still wait for the next ruling, which would be they're saying, let's hold off. We're going to appeal this to the appellate court. And if they appeal it to the appellate court and they lose, they're going to say one appeal to the Supreme Court.
And then finally, how about this argument that some Democrats are now making that if they actually opened up impeachment proceedings, it would streamline the process, make it go more quickly?
It's true that it would help it go a little faster. They would have stronger arguments in certain cases to say we have an official proceeding ongoing. But this now becomes a sort of balancing of the political price versus the legal advantage. And the legal advantage is relatively small in adding impeachment proceedings. It's there, it's real, but you have to factor in politics.
And for now, Nancy Pelosi thinks that the political argument
absolutely
weighs against that. Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.